my 3 little babies in bed. Oh, you girls are so cute.
Okay guys, we are here for a new mood reading vlog, and I'm going to do the tarot prompt first and see what we get. So I'm just using one of my decks again, one of my tarot decks that I made for myself, and we'll see what we get. And I did pull this, and it's the World card, and it means a popular pick, but I just got that recently. I want a new prompt, okay? So I'm going to shuffle it back in. Because I make up the rules here. Okay, so I got the Sun card, and the prompt that I put for this, because I did rework some of the prompts recently just to make them, I don't know, more fun and more stupid. And the prompt for this one now is a book with hot people on the cover. So let's have a look. I gotta find them hot. Luckily I'm bi, so the options are pretty much unlimited. Any gender can be hot to me. So I could say, look, straight away I am thinking of Hell of a Witch, because we've got the beautiful, sexy wood witch Adrian on the front, but I already have that on my TBR for the cover being green. I could double up. Am I going to double up and just use it as a prompt for this too? You know what? No, I did decide to do the 5 pulls on my TBR as additional books. So, but you know that Adrian is fine and could definitely have been a choice. Let's see if there's any other hottie patotties on my TBR. Oh, Goodreads changed their text of their logo. It's like, mate, it's not about the font. It's about the usability of your app. Like, work on that. All right, so let's have a look at Want to Read. Let's see, does anybody tickle my fancy? Look, Carl is straight away on there. I'm not into Carl, I'm sorry. I'm not, you know, the sex doll hand maybe. We're not including that. Let's try and find some other hotties. Look, I will admit, I don't read a lot of books that have people on the cover. Okay, we've got First Time Caller. Oh, no, that's one of the books I'm also picking. I forgot about that. So we're not including that one. A lot of animals. This chick has half of her head exploded, so I'm not into that. I'm not into that. We've got animals, florals, and children. Oh, no. I think a majority of the books that contain hot-looking people are romantasy, and we all know that I just don't have a lot of romantasy on my books, so I might struggle. I might have to go with Adrian, worst case scenario. I'd like to pick something new for you, but we will see. Hello, beautiful Sylvie. Oh, hold on. Hold the horses. Let me look up close. We've got Dust Walker by Tiffany Roberts. What the fuck is this, Chanel? The guy's not doing it for me, but the chick, a robot searching for purpose, a woman who brings him to life. Oh my God, is this like an AI human romance? Okay, I think what happened here is obviously I was watching Murderbot with Skarsgård, and I thought, hey, maybe I'm into human robot romance, because if Skarsgård was a robot that I was interacting with, I probably would. My God. Okay, I have to see if this is available. Oh my God, it's a fucking 500-page book. These romantasy books, guys. I know this is like more sci-fi probably, but oh, Dustwalker, that chick is pretty fucking hot. Like, I don't know if I'm going to find someone hotter, especially because a lot of the books here that I'm going through that feature people on there are horror books. So they're not hot. Because like if someone's face is covered in blood, I can't really look past that, you know? I'm like not attracted to injured, like severely injured people. Okay, we've got a book here called Waif by Curler's Nick, which once again features 2 red-headed women. They're kind of hot, but they're wearing very conservative gowns. So the other chick is beating them out. All right, I've got another option here. A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor by Katherine Moon. She's also smoking. We'll try for one more. I want to have like 3 options, because it depends on if it's available at my library straight away. So let's see if we can find another bangin' babe, probably, because there's not really a lot of men on here. Who are you? Mistress of Bones. I got a... oh, well, there's a dude on the bottom. Like, I'm kind of feeling the dude more with that one. They're kind of hot. I think we're just going to go with that, because I'd rather not go through another 50,000 books. So those are the three. And we'll see. Like, I'm going to be honest, the first redhead is the one that was the hottest for me. So, we'll see. Yeah, robot romance might be on the cards for this reading vlog. It's highly likely. It might be a fun time. It might be a fun 500-page time. So let's see what else. Okay. The library doesn't have the physical copy of the next Dungeon Crawl Carl book. But guess what? They do have the ebook. So I am going to be continuing on with that. And that's called The Butcher's Masquerade. As I said previously, I'm going to chuck Hell of a Witch by Rachel Aaron in here, because it is on the monthly TBR and he's also hot. So that's definitely going to come. Those two books are going to be on there, plus the third hotties on the cover book. And then I've got a fourth slot open, ready to be filled by whichever tome slides through my front door. So we shall see. But yes, I will wait until I have a normal speaking voice to update you on the next book. I really was too premature with coming back on screen, but I will see you then. Hello. Hey, mate. Oh, he probably wants an apple. I don't have any apples. Sorry, dude. Yep, he's like literally right in front of my computer looking at me. Oh my gosh. Caramel? I think it's a caramel. Very cool. I know, Bluebell. I know. Birdie wants a treat.
Yeah, boy.
You're fine, Sylvie. But Nova, I need the dress. So you're gonna have to get a little bit disturbed. I'm back, guys. I'm on day 9. I think I'm good to go. It might be too soon, but YOLO, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Life is short to wait until you're 100% well to do shit. So let me tell you about what I have read, because yes, I have been reading. Okay, yes. So I finished reading Hell of a Witch by Rachel Aaron. So this one was more about Adrian, who is the sexy wood witch soft boy, and in this he teams up with Bex, who is the demon, I'll leave that ambiguous, to take on heaven itself, with an army the size of a book club and a magical Winnebago that is held together by duct tape and spite. What is their plan? Well, their plan is to storm Seattle's Celestial Supercenter like it's Black Friday and hope nobody notices the divine war crimes. Meanwhile, Gilgamesh is done playing nice and dispatches Heaven's hit squad to handle these flaming nerds. Let the holy smackdown begin. So as usual, this book was about rebelling against divine authority with wrath as righteousness and justice for the marginalized. I thought it was okay. Unfortunately, this didn't hit as much as the first because I'm already used to the world and the characters, so there's no novelty with that. The biggest letdown for me in this was Bex as the main character. I just really don't like her. She is a wet blanket. She's not captivating. She's so powerful, and yet she's so whiny and a bit of a buzzkill. Let's be honest. She's got a fucking hot wood witch who's also a witch of the flesh, and yet she is not jumping on that fine man. She is playing so coy and demure. All you're going to get out of this is a single kiss at the end. Okay, this is the slowest of slow burns, and it doesn't make sense considering the nature of both of them. They're both fiery and passionate. Bex is almost like a fire demon pretty much, and yet where's the sparks, guys? There were none, because like I said, Bex is a wet blanket. There's a massive trope in this that I absolutely despise. I will mention it. I don't think it's a huge spoiler, but I can't stand it when there are two characters that are clearly on track to being a romantic couple, and then what happens in this, their enemy captures Adrian. Bex has just secured a very strategic victory. She's acquired something that's very important for them to be able to turn the tables on this war. But then the enemy comes along and says, hand it over or we kill your little witchy poo. And she begrudgingly does to save Adrian's life, and then is so angry at herself for choosing a singular person over an advantage in the war that she just ghosts Adrian. She decides, oh, he's a liability for me. He's a vulnerability, my feelings for him. The enemy's going to exploit it. So I'm just going to ice him out and ignore him. Grown-ass adults here. Doesn't have a discussion with him, just, like I said, chooses to try to ignore him and ignore her feelings about him. But guess what, bitch? The enemy still tries to use Adrian against her, because of course they are. They're not going to say, oh, we heard down the grapevine that Bex doesn't like him anymore, so we're just going to leave him alone. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to take anybody that's part of her group, aren't they? So it doesn't matter if she's trying to put up the front that she's not interested in him anymore, because he's still in harm's way, as are all of them, all of her gang. So I just thought it was stupid, because I thought if it hadn't been Adrian, if they had been holding any one of her crew, any one of her found family hostage, she would have done the same thing. Let's be real. But I hate when they do this for romantic loves only. It's like, at the end of the day, if you care about anybody, yes, they can be used against you. Yes, that love that you have for them can be exploited. It's not just for the ones that you want to fuck. So yeah, what happens is, they use him again, and then she decides, yeah, no, I'm just going to let him die. I'm sorry, I saved him the first time. He's on his own now. And I'm just like, well, then what was the point? What was the point of ignoring him this whole time and being a bitch if you were just going to allow him to be sacrificed anyway for the greater good? You could have at least been kind to him before he died. I'm not saying if he dies or if he doesn't, but that whole trope of, I care about you too much, so now you're a weakness, so I'm just going to ignore you for your own safety. I hate it, because it never works. It never works. The enemy's not going to just leave them alone because they think you're not into them anymore. They don't give a shit. Okay, if that person is still fighting against their aims and goals, then they're going to try and take them out, because they're also an enemy of the state, so to speak. So it just felt so juvenile that this grown-ass woman is just ignoring him when he's literally part of the team. He's a pivotal part of their entire plan. So Adrian, who, God bless him, is the most patient and understanding and loyalist of the soft boys, just allows her to do whatever she wants and still puts her first. So he doesn't deserve Vex. And then when they finally kissed it, I don't know, there was nothing left. There was no chemistry left. It was so, it was a letdown. It was a letdown, so yeah. Apologies for having to have the bright light on, but it is storming outside. There is no light. We are in darkness. So yeah, unfortunately this ended up only being good. I love Adrian, definitely a book crush. Bex, on the other hand, just plummeted in regards to my respect for her and likability. So I will not be continuing the series. I'm done here, unfortunately. Bit of a bummer. I did end up, so remember I did do the prompt to pull a book with a hottie on the cover. One of the books isn't even out yet. Well done, Chanel. So that hasn't been released. The other book ended up being just monster smut, so no plot, just sex. And look, I am a fan of monster smut. I used to have a whole segment that was just about me reading monster erotica. I still do in my spare time. I just don't ever talk about it on here. And that's great, but those books are short. This is 400 pages of it, and no. If I want that hit, I'll read a quickie, not 400 pages of a chick just banging her way through some Beastie Boys at a brothel. It's like, you do you, boo bang. I ain't got time for that. So I ended up going with Dustwalker by Tiffany Roberts. So what is this book about? Well, you've got a 2-century-old robot with little memory and, surprisingly, a lot of feelings. Then you've got Desperate Human, who's fallen on hard times in this dystopian world, and she loves to dance. She used to dance for bots, for money, but not anymore. Now she just dances for her soul, for herself. And one day, Bot Boy spies her dancing. He's like, hey, that's unlike anything I've seen before. She doesn't dance like the ladies do down the road. She's got something special about her, je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take care of her financially so that she can be my live-in dancing girl. So I guess, you know, sparks fly, lots of brooding. This is less Terminator, more Dirty Dancing. There's a side plot too about her trying to find her sister who used to sleep with bots for money to help them out. There's a lot about sex work in here. And I did DNF it because I could not stand the FMC Lara. She was so combative and aggressive. Everything that the robot did, every single act of kindness was met with contempt and sniping and yelling and nastiness. And she wasn't just this way with him, she was this way with everybody, despite the fact that arcing up and going off put her life at risk. And that's just stupid to me. That is absolute stupidity if you are putting yourself at risk of being killed because you cannot control your temper. It's like, bitch, you need to be less incendiary and learn some anger management skills. But I can't read about a main character like that. I can't stand, look, I'm not a big fan of angry characters. I know Bex was, you know, the whole wrath thing was her vibe. She wasn't actually a very angry person. She was only angry in the moments that it made sense to be angry. Whereas this chick was like the dude from Inside Out. Literally every interaction sets her off. So I did DNF that one. I'm now going to be reading The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinniman. This is an over 700-page installment. Matt, come on. I feel like maybe they could be shaved down a bit. However, I'm not complaining. I have loved every single book in this series. This is another top tier series for me, following Freren. So I am expecting, to be honest, another 4.5 star read. That seems to be what most of them are. They're like 4.25 to 4.75s. Maybe this will be the first 5-star. Who knows? But I'm very excited about it. And so I'm going on to that. I've also just picked up Cure by Katherine Brabon. I really enjoyed her other book, Body Friend, which was about chronic illness. It's set in Melbourne. I just resonated with it a lot. This is very similar. Once again, chronic illness is a main theme in this book, but it's about a mother and daughter, and I think they're trying to find a treatment for one of them by traveling overseas. But it's on my phone, and it hasn't gone over to Kobo. Sometimes that happens with some of the ebooks from my library. For whatever reason, they don't transfer across. Maybe it's a different type of file. Obviously, you can't see the extension, the file extension in the app. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's just not one that's compatible with Kobo. So I'd have to read it on my phone. So I don't know. I want to read it because the book, I think I'm 6th in line for the physical copy. So we'll see if I can get on with reading it on my phone. If not, it'll be in an upcoming vlog. But I've also still got another slot free for another book. So I'm going to see what I've got at the library. I do, however, also have Kill Creatures by, I think it's Rory Powers. Oh, I don't remember. Which is about a woman who goes to the funeral, I think it's about a woman who kills all her friends. And then one of her friends rocks up alive and she's like, how are you alive? I killed you. So we'll see what that's like. I have heard some people's reviews on it and they weren't great. So I'm having very low expectations for that one, but we'll just see how it plays out. But yes, so far I did read Hell of a Witch, which was also on my TBR for the month. So I get to cross that off. I might have to, you know what? I might look at my TBR and see if anything else from that TBR has come in, and I might put one of those on here. We'll just see. We're going to play it by ear, guys. So I am going out with my kids and their friends to the shopping mall today. As you would have seen in my It's the Vibe vlog, the weather is absolutely atrocious. It's yuck. It's not nice. But that's pretty much all we have on the agenda. And then I'll be laying low the rest of the week because I've got my second cousin's 18th birthday party on the weekend. So I need the energy for that. But that's everything, and I'll see you the next time I've read something. Okay, I have to keep filming in here because my ex-husband took my tripod, my little portable one, and he hasn't given it back yet, so I've got to get that off him. Hello, darling. You're so cute, you're so cute, you're so cute, you're so cute. I love you. The rain didn't stop. It's still raining in Spain. So I went to the library anyway. I picked up some books. I'll show you what I've got. So we've got Earth by Deborah Tompkins. What planet are we on? Can we leave? Does it mean we can never go home again? And if we do, what does a phrase like worlds apart really mean? I haven't heard anything about it, but brand new, grabbed it. Oh, my hair got rained on and now it's starting to frizz. God damn it. It was not the day to do straight hair. Then we've got The Children of the Dead, translated from the German by Gita Höniger. And this is by Elfriede Jelinek. And what is this about? It's a magnum opus, Jesus. The Alpenrose is a mountain resort nestled in Austria's scenic landscape among historic churches and castles. It is a vacation idyll that attracts tourists from all over Europe. It is also a mass burial site. So we'll see what that's like. Then we've got The Living Mountain by Nan Shepherd. So this was one of my choices for my monthly TBR. This was a book that feels wintry. This has so many covers. This one's actually really nice. I think this might be my favorite one because it's got, you're not going to be able to see because of the light, but it's got glitter, gold glitter on it. So I'll be reading that. And oh, we kind of, no, we don't match. I'm yellow. Ah, how cool. The Eye of the Bedlam Bride by Matt Dinniman. It says USA Today's best-selling author. Carl and Princess Donut journey into insanity in the wildly entertaining 6th book with bonus material exclusive to this print edition. What is that? Hold on. Hold your horses. So you've got the Pineapple Cabaret at the end, but that's been at the end of all the books that I've read. I don't know what the additional one is, but yeah, this, oh man, this is so big, and I have a big noggin. How many pages? 812. 812. So yes, this will be the following book after The Butcher's Masquerade. What's the next one going to be? 1,000 pages? They're just getting beefier and beefier. Like, this is a doorstopper, but excited. So I have started reading Butcher's Masquerade. I'm not going to say anything, but I am fucking loving it. I'm loving it. I'm getting 5-star tingly feelings. So I'll tell you about it. So there's just a flock of pigeons. That was really cool. I'll tell you about it once I've read a bit more and let you know how I go. But it's just, we're just going straight into it. Just launched right in. Calm myself, Chanel. Let me gather my thoughts and, tell you about it properly. But yes, that'll be in the next vlog. I'm not going to read it in this one. I'm not going to double team you with Matt Dinniman. So I will put this one in the next vlog. So stay tuned for that one. But I'm enjoying Butcher's Masquerade thus far. I do feel like it's going to be a 5-star. It's just making me really freaking happy, man. And I'll figure out the last 2 books eventually, but one book at a time. Also, I am not going to be doing works me with the tail. I'm not going to be doing perfume reviews in my mood reading vlogs anymore. I'm just going to be doing them in my themed vlogs because I know not everybody likes perfume or gives a toss about perfume, but I do. But I'll keep it for my other themed vlogs because they're so short anyway. And what was I going to say? Other cat owners, tell me, what time do your cats wake you up? I want to know what everyone's cat's clocks are like. My babies normally wake up at around 6:30 and I'll go off and they'll go have a play. And then they'll come back around 7 and bug me until I finally get up at 7:30. So I think they would get up even earlier if I looked moderately awake. I do try very much to not move or look like I'm awake when they get up at 6:30 because I don't want them to think that that's an acceptable hour to get up. Obviously, I'm very lucky that I don't have to get up earlier than 7:30. I know there's lots of people you have to get up way earlier than that. I used to be one of them back in the day, back when I was 18, 19, 20 and working those killer jobs and you're getting up at like 5 in the morning so you can go to work and then you can go to uni and then go to another job and then do your homework. It's full on, but thank God I had energy back then. But yeah, let me know what time your cats get you up for breakfast. Mine, I do it at 7:30. I have to get up. They're persistent for that 30 minutes. I'm not really asleep because they're just on me. Meow, 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 lick, 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 pat, pat, pat. All 3 of them will eventually all team up and then it's like, okay, mommy's up. But yeah, let me know. You don't know what you're going to get. They always have different stuff, remember? Alright guys, I've still got you propped up on a book. It is so fucking cold. It's so cold. I hate being cold even in my own house, but I finished reading The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinniman. I will give you a quick synopsis before I give you my review. So, welcome to the 6th floor, where, don't do it, Blue. She did it. Where the jungle is hungry, the dinosaurs are pissed, the tourists are bloodthirsty, and the only dress code for the Butcher's Masquerade is murder chic. Okay, we're gonna have 50,000 view changes because Bluebug keeps knocking it down. Okay, hopefully she doesn't knock it down again, Blue. What was I saying? So yes, once again, Carl, our favorite dungeon crawler, excluding Princess Donut, is just still trying to survive. He's not trying to audition for Jurassic Hunger Games VIP edition, but that is what's happening because all of the top 50 crawlers are invited to a masquerade ball, along with the hunters who are hunting them and various other NPC factions. With a kill happy princess, a reality show death march, and elitist trophy hunters on the prowl, it's less survival of the fittest and more survival of whoever brought the most explosives. Once again, this is all about trying to survive when the game is rigged and the odds are stacked against you, and violence as entertainment is king. I loved this book. It's 5 stars for me. Carl goes full maverick mad cunt in this, like straight out the gate. Chapter 1 had me schwitzing. I was sweating. My heart was in my throat. I'm like, oh my God, we've just been thrown headfirst into the action. And yeah, Carl is just becoming, I don't want to say, it's not reckless, but he is just giving no fucks anymore in this Jurassic Jumanji adventure. There was one point where Donut said, after they'd just lost a lot of people, there was a massacre, and she said, why aren't I crying, Carl? Like, I should be crying. Why do I feel nothing? And he was trying to explain to her that because you're trying to survive. If you allowed yourself to feel the loss of everything, you would be incapacitated. You would not survive. So he promised her that once it was over and they were safe, she would have time to grieve. Everything she would be able to feel. But in this moment, while they still are in the game, they do have to, in a way, turn off their humanity if they want to live, if they want to make it to the next round. Obviously, they're still good guys. They're still trying to help as many other crawlers as possible. But I do feel that it's Carl and Donut first and foremost. So I don't think that either of them would put the survival of the many over each other's lives. This time around, they did get to work with Miriam and her goats finally, because those were 2 crawlers that I really wanted to get more page time, because they also seemed like good people, and that happened. There was a moment in this that absolutely gutted me. I was bawling and it sucks, but you have to realize that not everyone's going to make it. That is the reality. Humans are going to die because that makes for good TV. But this was fantastic. 5 stars. This is my first 5-star of the series. I can't talk a lot about it because it's, it's a continuation on, and it is the 5th book, I believe it was. So yeah, I was very happy with how it went. Do I think it could have been shaved down a little bit? Yes, I do. There were some things that could have been cut out. I think if you love dinosaurs, then you're gonna love this one. There was also a lot of Fae characters involved, and there was a notable absence of a particular top 50 crawler who was meant to be there but wasn't on page, so I don't know what's going on there. I was like waiting for a confrontation there. Some more interesting information has come to light about other crawlers, so as they're progressing, whoever the other like top 10 crawlers are at that time, we're getting to learn more about them, which is fun. Prepotente, one of the goats, is really interesting to me. They're giving sort of Doctor Strange energy. So I'm interested to see if Carl works more with them. So yeah, this one was really fucking sad. There was a high collateral. There were a lot of losses in this one. A lot of crawlers didn't make it. So that being said, I'm really excited for The Eye of the Bedlam Bride, which is what this phone is sitting on currently because it's such a thick boy. So yeah, that was 5 stars. Like I said, I'd like to talk more about it, but it's going to spoiler territory. So best not do that. I have started reading Cure by Katherine Brabon, so I'll give you a quick synopsis of that one. So this is about a mother-daughter duo who go to Italy in search of a possible miracle cure, but they end up getting caught up in a spiral of blog posts, identity crises, and possibly Buster-induced delusions. It's chronic illness meets chronic overthinking with a side of generational trauma and espresso. So I do like Brabon's writing style. I do have chronic illnesses, so I like the rep, and I just like the way that she expresses chronic illness. And I will talk more about that once I've read more, so I do think I'll probably read this one all the way through. At the moment, it's feeling like a 3.5, but I'm happy to continue on because I like the subject matter. I did figure out the issue with the Kobo, so it was because these books were from the different library. So Kobo doesn't allow you to have multiple library cards on the Overdrive section. I did Google it, I did go to Reddit, and someone said, oh, you can do it, you just have to log in with your Overdrive account instead of your library card account. But I don't know if I don't think that applies anymore. I've got obviously a newer Kobo, and there is no option to sign in with Overdrive. It is just library card only. So every time I get a book from a different library, I'm going to have to sign back in with a different card. And when I first did it, it sent them to me as previews, and I'm like, babes, no, I've borrowed these. So I had to go to Reddit once again, comes in clutch, and I had to repair the Kobo and then resync it, and then they came through. So it's a bit annoying. People from Kobo are listening. It'd be great if you could make it so that just like on the Libby app, we can have multiple library cards linked on the Overdrive, so that way we don't have to keep signing in and out. But I also got another book, so I was going to start Kill Creatures. I will start it actually, and I've also gotten The Enchanted Greenhouse, which is the sequel to The Spell Shop. So I'm going to read both and see if I want to continue with both, because look, I think there's a high chance Kill Creatures might be a DNF. I don't know. I'm just basing this on other people's opinions, which I normally am contrarian to, but we'll see. So I will do both of those, and I don't think I'll continue both. If I do, then this will just be a 5-book vlog instead of a 4-book vlog, because I am equally interested in both. So those will be the other books on the lineup. Today I'm meant to be getting an internet repair person in because my internet is dropping out 20 times a day and it's costing me money. So I will catch up with you guys once I've read the next book.
Having some time with Sylvie. Sylvie doesn't sit on my lap very often. Nova's by my feet. But she's so cute. It's cold, isn't it, darling? And she's the littlest cat. She's got like no fat on her. So she's cold. Hello, darling. Oh, just hanging with my 3 babes. I was doing some reading. They were doing some napping.
It's raining and it's sunset, and it's just so weird. The whole house is bathed in this golden light. It's really lovely. Good morning, guys. I finished Cure by Katherine Brabon. I'm just going to put my glasses on so I can see my notes. So this book ended up being okay for me, but I'll tell you what my thoughts were about it. It definitely is mostly about dealing with chronic illness and mother-daughter relationships. So there was a lot about sort of intergenerational mirrors. The Thea, who is the daughter, and Vera's illnesses echo each other, as do their identities and, in a way, life experiences.
there's a haunting sense of inheritance with this, and not just of DNA, but of coping mechanisms, fears, and in a way, hope. It was a lot of entanglement. It's that dynamic that you have with your mother where you are the same, but you also desperately want to not be the same. And the whole thing of what you end up passing down to your children. And look, I resonated heavily with it. I have chronic illness that I inherited from my mother, and that I have unfortunately passed down to my daughter, and it's heartbreaking and upsetting because you don't want your children to have that narrative of pain and suffering, and in a way you do feel like you failed them because you feel like it's your fault. They are your genes and you did pass them on. And so there's this unrelenting pursuit of finding a cure. That's what we all want. We want something that's going to make it go away. And sometimes you might be successful in that, and sometimes you might not be, or it might only be a temporary reprieve. The mother in this is someone who definitely prefers to try to find complementary therapies, natural treatments and remedies, and is looking, as I said, for a way to put it into remission rather than just having to resort, I guess, to the pharmaceutical band-aids, because to her that feels like she has failed and that she has accepted that she is a sick person and she doesn't want to be. And I've had my own experiences with that. I have a multitude of autoimmune conditions. I also have genetic conditions, but the autoimmune ones I do find sometimes, with some of them, I have essentially put them into remission in that I am not symptomatic. Like, for instance, I have psoriatic arthritis, and I managed to put that into remission. I no longer have any of the symptoms of it, because for me, that one seemed to be triggered by nightshades. So sometimes it is just a simple dietary change or lifestyle change or mental change, and that can benefit. But then there are other things that just, at the moment, I have not found a natural remedy for, and have had to resort to pharmaceuticals. So I understand that she was desperately holding on to some hope that even though she was never able to find a cure for herself, that somehow she'll be able to find it for her daughter, and in doing so, save them both. But like I said, besides that too, it was also just about the two of them and their life and their shared experiences and the way that they differed at their same ages. It was really interesting, but however, what let the book down for me was the way it was executed. So you were constantly changing POVs between Vera and Thea, and at the same time too, Thea would sometimes envision what her mum would be like at her age at 16 and what she was doing, and Vera was sometimes imagining herself as this other online person who also had a sick daughter, and it had a very dreamlike quality to it. It wasn't tangible. There was no real linear kind of plot. There sort of was, but it just kept going back and forth in time, back and forth of POV changes. And so it just felt, yeah, like I said, very insubstantial to me. And I found that way of telling the story to be unsatisfying. Vera's husband was a doctor, so there was a lot of conflict there between obviously him trying to support her journey with her health, but also being frustrated because he was obviously of a very Western medicine perspective, and he thinks just take the damn drugs, they will hopefully make you feel better. Obviously they all come with side effects, but she was just like, well, I don't want to do that. I want to try and exhaust every other avenue possible because maybe something will work. Because no one wants to just mask the symptoms. You know, we all want to actually be well, and pharmaceuticals, man, they are expensive and they do come with side effects. So they are the sort of last resort. And I think most of us chronically ill people do never stop the pursuit of trying other things to see if maybe that will be the miracle cure. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy the structure of the story. And also Thea was a teenager at 16, and look, I get it, 16-year-olds touch themselves, but I don't want to read about it, you know? It's like, put your hands in your panties on your own time, darling. I don't want to be a witness to that. So for me, that was also a downside. I was like, I'd rather not have had the 16-year-olds POV, especially to do with boys and sexuality and pleasure. I still do love Katherine's writing, and I do love the way that she encapsulates, the way that she speaks about chronic illness. She gets it. I'll just read you like a little snippet of this segment where she was talking about how partners of chronic illness can sometimes be. She had recently parted from a boyfriend who seemed unable to grasp her illness in some fundamental way. He always wanted her to be better soon, was impatient for it, or wanted her to be like she was in some perpetually tantalizing yesterday when she'd had a good day. He seemed to disbelieve the changeable nature of the illness, its unpredictability, as though her bad days were better characterized as a mental block, a failure of effort or imagination to find ways to make herself better. So, like I said, I thought it was good, but I was expecting to really love it, and I didn't. And I think it was just, like I said, the way that this story was presented that just wasn't for me. I also forgot to mention that I did pick up The Living Mountain by Nan Shepherd, which was on my TBR for this month. And Nan Shepherd really likes hiking Scottish mountains. She gets deep with rocks and rivers and basically writes a poetic love letter to nature. It was fine. It just was a bit dull. I'm not saying, how do I say it? With books that are just based on nature, the writing really has to get me, but it has to also be intriguing. It can't just be beautiful, and this was beautifully written, but it was just a bit too quiet and slow for me. And I thought, I can't read a whole book of this. I'm already starting to fall asleep. It was very soothing. If you want a very soothing, calming, grounding book, then this would be for you, but I just wasn't in the mood to continue on. I think I would have just ended up rating it a 3. I'm very particular with nature books. A lot of them do tend to be too dull for me. So it's a me thing. The problem is me. I am the problem. I then picked up Kill Creature by Rory Power, and guys, if you think your friendship circle is toxic, Nan killed hers, but one came back. So this is about Nan, and she's a teenager, and this is a YA, and it was very YA. So I couldn't, no, it was too YA for me. It was too teenager-ish, sometimes YA horrors are absolutely fine. Sometimes they are too young, and this was too young teenage drama. Nan killing her friends because she's jealous. I was just like, no, I don't care. It was teenage drama stuff, So I did DNF that, which means I have gone on to The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. So in this one, we're following Turlu, and Turlu just wanted a little leafy friend. She was hella lonely, and she loved her houseplant. But as a librarian, she was forbidden from doing magic, and they made an example of her. For the crime of bringing a plant to life, she was turned into a living statue, which is terrifying, to be forever stuck and yet conscious. But then, suddenly, unexpectedly, she wakes up on a remote island that is full of dying magical greenhouses, flaky honey cakes, and one very grumpy gardener. So now she's hungry, she's emotionally unthawed, she is starved for physical touch, and possibly falling in love while teaming up with a talking rose and said black cat gardener to try to save the island from horticultural doom. So I don't quite know what the doom is. I'm going based on the synopsis off the back. What I've read to is her talking about how she got herself into that predicament. She just wanted a friend. She wanted to practice magic. She paid the price for it heavily. And now she's just grateful to be alive, to be able to feel things. The second she saw the gardener, she did immediately hug him and then realized, oh, that's probably not good. I should not have just touched that person without their consent. That's my bad. But she seems to be very bubbly, very extroverted. She needs people. And she didn't have any before. But the gardener has woken her up, and he did so because he thought she was a sorcerer. And she said, well, no, I'm not a sorcerer, I was a librarian. And he seems to be very upset by that. So I think this is the part where she's going to be brought up to speed on whatever magical issue is plaguing this greenhouse island. There's also been a little cat, an emerald green winged cat that's been introduced. So I'm hoping that's going to be part of the story because, you know, I love animal companions, especially if they talk. I don't think that cats in this world talk though, but we'll see what happens. It's cozy, it's sweet. We'll see how it goes. I did think the spell shop was great, and that did end up being a lot more high stakes and dramatic than I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as cozy as I was assuming. It was actually quite tense. So we'll give this a solid shot. I just have to be in the mood for it, but we'll see what it's going to serve up. Is it going to be super, super cozy, in which case it might not be for me, or is it going to be some sort of stakes involved? We shall see. I'm assuming the romance will be just as chaste as it was in the first one. So I don't really think this is a go for the romance kind of book. It's once again the cozy fantasy vibes and the cool world. I did really like the creatures and the little island in the other one. So we'll see if this one's just as darling. And then I've still got space for another book. So I don't know what it's going to be. I'm still got you propped up on books because my ex-husband hasn't brought me back the tripod. His girlfriend did volunteer to drive it down, and I'm like, babes, no, you stay warm, you stay dry. I'll pick it up when I drop off the kids on the weekend. She's just, I love her so much. I went to the fruit shop today and I got this. Tell me if you know what this is. I have never seen anything like this before. So this is an orange. It's called a dolce orange. It is green and the inside is yellow. It looks like a dinosaur egg to me. So I just had to try it out. I don't do well with citrus. Citrus sort of gives me issues. But one orange, I just wanted to try it out and taste it. I love when there's new varieties of fruit. I'm definitely against the homogenization of fruit. Is it cultures, genuses? I don't remember the genealogy tree for biology. You got families, genuses, subgenus, I don't know. But yeah, I think the more varieties, the better. Keeping heirlooms going is important. I think diversity with food is important. And I know like generally humans breed what is the most successful. It's what has a high, what looks good, but all of these like seedless stuff. I know some people don't like seeds, but I don't know. I just worry about our food being fucked with too much genetically, like keep it close to nature. I've got my little tree in the back. You would have seen the video. So I've got a dwarf orange tree in the back and I'm just hoping that is okay. I previously tried to grow citrus, but we get gall wasp. And so I've never been successful, but maybe that one will be. So yeah, I'm trying to grow as many fruit trees as I can too in my backyard of like less common varieties, but this is cool. So I do want to try it out. It is conventionally grown. This is not organic, but it's grown in Australia. So I still want to support the local farmers. I'll touch base with you once I have read some more books. Another thing I was going to ask too, is this the same for you guys? So as I said previously, I don't get flus and colds often. It's normally once every 2 to 3 years, and I just got one, as you know, and I'm feeling 99% today. After I get sick, I always feel, I don't know, not that I've evolved in some way, but something's changed. I feel better than I did previously. So I've noticed that I have improved energy. But that also could just be an effect of having been horribly sick and unwell. So anything that's not that feels amazing. But I think I do feel a little bit better than before I got sick. But my sleep has changed. So normally I would get around 2 hours of deep sleep a night and an hour of REM. And I thought it was just an effect of being sick because, you're feverish, you're hallucinating. I was having so many dreams, and the Aura Ring reflected that. I'm now only getting about half an hour of deep sleep, which is no good because that's what makes me feel rested and refreshed. But I'm getting 3 to 4 hours of REM sleep, of dreaming. And it's been nuts. And I don't have like chill dreams. Some people I know dream like they're ironing their clothes or they're going for a walk. My dreams are intergalactic space invasions, zombie apocalypses. Last night, because I have multiple dreams too, and most of the time I am a lucid dreamer. So if it gets too violent, I can change it or wake myself up, but it's exhausting doing that. But one of the dreams I had last night was a high school reunion, and then it turned out there was a group of girls that were actually serial killers, and they were going around killing all the girls, and it was up to me and my two besties to stop them. There was one bit where I did get to have a bit of a make out with this beautiful woman. So I was like, that was great. I wouldn't be mad about the 3 to 4 hours of dreaming if it was all that. That would be great. But like the sexy dreams are so few and far between. They're generally only when I'm about to ovulate. And they're very, very short. They never last long enough. But yeah, if the dreams were all that, romantic entanglements with hot people, I'd be fine. But when my dreams are me running and screaming and fighting and are just adrenaline filled, less fun. I wake up feeling really exhausted. So I don't know if this is going to be permanent. It was the whole time I was sick and it's still occurring. I don't know why my brain needs that much REM time. I really feel like the deep sleep is the most important. At least it's not all light sleep, because I have had that too as someone with insomnia. A lot of the time it will be just majority light, and that's just so unsatisfying. But yeah, there's been a change with my frequency and length of dreaming. So because there's so many too, normally I'm really good at dream recall, but because there's so many, I'm like, oh my God, what was everything? Because sometimes I feel like, oh, there's hidden meaning in there. There's subconscious messaging that I need to put my attention on. But yeah, the last dream I had was the high school killer reunion with the hot makeout. So that's the one I remember the most. In that one too, my brother went full Middle Eastern terrorist. So there was like subplots in that dream. And I was like, we have to deal with this. I was like, my family, guys, my brother is on a dangerous path and I'm worried he's going to kill a bunch of people. He's been radicalized. We need to like deal with that as well. But first matters at hand, the pressing is the people being killed by former schoolmates. So yeah, it was a lot. And it was set in this like multi-level hotel. I was like jumping across balustrades and it was just full on and exhausting. But energy wise, I do feel better. I feel like, touch wood, that I can start exercising again. So I haven't exercised besides just yin yoga and very, very, very short walks since I developed a new condition that I have back in November. And my muscle mass has taken a massive hit. All those years I spent cultivating mass, bro.
I went from a tiny twink to the muscle-bound freak you see before you.
And strength, because strength is very important to me. I want to feel strong. I also have scoliosis. I have low bone density. So weight lifting, weight bearing exercise was something I spent a lot of time on. And the way that it's just gone, I am so weak. I am so soft. If you touch me, like I am just skin and bones and I'm feeling gross. Like the other day, Indy ran to do a jump hug and I almost threw my back out.
My back! My neck and my back! Oh!
Like I had to tell her, like, at the moment, Mummy's not strong enough anymore for your running jump hugs. I'm going to have to build up the strength. Bluebell's chasing her own tail. Oh, babes. Oh, look, she's happy though. She's happy. So yes, that's the first thing on the agenda. I'm going to try weightlifting. Like I care less about cardio stuff, and I'm got to be careful with my heart. But I think it's good enough to get back into weightlifting. So I'm excited. I'm not excited. It's so demoralizing when you have to start at the bottom again. You know, you slowly work your way up with the weights. You know, getting heavier and heavier. And I'm like, man, how long am I gonna have to go to start again? I know people say muscle memory is a thing and I should be able to progress a lot more quickly than, previous, but I want to have good form and I want to be able to do more than one set of each exercise. But yeah, I'm excited. I feel good. The thing with being sick, the benefit of it is I always eat so well. When I'm sick, I don't eat any processed food. It's just fruits, veggies, meat, pretty much is all I eat. And I hate to say it, but I feel like that eating that way is better for me health-wise. That being said, mentally, it's not great. It's too restrictive. I do like chocolate and cake and pizza and stuff, but I think I do have to, I don't know, do a bit better with my nutrition, because I will admit it is not great. It's probably 50-50 in terms of processed foods and foods that I make myself. That's too high. I think 50% processed is too high, Chanel. I can do better. And just from yesterday eating the processed food again, I've taken a dip. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and use this to reset my eating habits, hopefully, and have a better balance of nutritionally dense foods and foods that make me happy. Foods that are convenient and easy and delicious. And, you know, I wish I wasn't someone who liked processed food like chocolate and things. Look, cooking everything from scratch and buying all whole foods is expensive and time intensive. And some of us don't have the money to eat just that way. Some of us don't have the time to eat just that way. Some of us don't have the energy either, because it takes a lot of energy to plan meals and cook and clean up. So I'm not going to be that hard on myself that I do eat processed food. It's kind of like a necessity at some points for me, you know, the cost benefit analysis. So, but it's just, I was veering way too far into the processed. And I'm just, why am I talking about food and diet? Like, this is a book channel. Anyway, all this to say, feeling better, want to take a bit more care of myself, and that's it. I will touch base with you guys. That's what I was asking. Like, do any of you feel different after an illness? Like something's changed in some way? Maybe you've leveled up somehow. I don't know if that's like a universal human thing or if it's just a me thing, but I always feel different, like a different version of Chanel after an illness. But anyway, I'll see you guys once I've read something.
Guys, the winter strawberries are popping off right now. They are so good.
I feel like you will fall off. You're flirting with danger, babes. Yeah. I love you. I'm scared you're gonna fall. And you know you're not good at landing on your feet. It's not a skill you possess. Do you think maybe we can move this to the bed? I think so. I think we're gonna do that. I love you. Hello, my lovely, lovely, lovely jobblies. I have got some updates for you. So, as you know, I was reading The Enchanted Greenhouse. However, after 150 pages, I have decided to DNF it. The main three characters were incredibly annoying to me. So Tulu, the main character, has such low self-esteem and is constantly in need of attention and validation. And then we have her love interest, Yarrow, and he has about as much emotional depth and warmth as a dying cactus. And then we had the talking Rose, who was just a obnoxious, whiny brat. The only character I liked in this book was the flying cat, who does not talk. So yeah, this one was just not for me. I just found the three characters intolerable. So couldn't continue on. It's a shame. I really thought I would like it as much as I did the Spell Shop, but no. The character casting was not on point. So I did DNF that one, unfortunately. The next book I picked up is called The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. Whew, boys, this is a fantasy book. We open up with a woman who has elf-like creatures. She's got pointed ears. They call them pointies. That's a derogatory term in this. And she's trussed up against a tree in iron shackles because she is about to be hung and burned because her kind are not tolerated to live. The soldiers are waiting for their commander to come along and verify that this indeed is one of the pointies. When he comes along, he notices that she has a brand on the middle of her chest and her eyes, unusual, and he decides that she must come with him. Now, how does he treat her? Violently and physically abusively. Okay, so he hurts her repeatedly. He literally just shoves her like a grain of sack over the back of the horse, tied to it. She cannot move. She's in pain. It's hurting her. He goes for hours a day. He then just drops her on the ground like a worthless piece of trash. He berates her when she asks, can I please just sit up? Like, you can still keep me chained and tethered. Can I just sit on the horse? He then tells her, you're lucky I don't throw a noose around your neck and have the horse drag you behind us. And the more I read, the more he abused her. And I thought, hold on, let me just check the blurb real quick, because this better not be the romantic interest. It was, guys, it was. And when you're probably going to say, hey, Chanel, it's probably enemies to lovers. Babes, it's not. This guy is meant to be her ally. She is a pivotal part of his plan to do something. So the only reason that he's cruel to her, when it's literally just the two of them alone, is because he's a cunt. I will not get on board with this romance. Like I said, his cruelty has no reason or function. He's just a fucking prick that gets off on inflicting harm to severely injured women. And like I said, she is a pivotal person to him. He cannot succeed without her. So why is he treating her even worse than the soldiers who captured her did? Yeah, so I ended up reading some reviews, and the people that gave the book 1 star, they had the same issues as me, that they could not tolerate him being the love interest because he's a sadist prick. I DNF that. Like I said, I have read enemies to lovers where they're legitimate enemies, and it makes sense then for the male protagonist to be inflicting harm and to want the pain and death of the FMC because they are on two opposing sides, where no, not in this case. Like I said, same side. And yet he caused her so much pain and suffering when it was not necessary. Like, why? I'm not going to get on board with a character that's like that. Jesus Christ, man. So yeah, I DNF that. What am I going to read next? I'm not sure. I do have a whole bunch of books that have just come into the library. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go and get the books, and I'll pick something from my new stack. It's Indy's half birthday today. So in my little family, we have a tradition where we celebrate half birthdays. So she's 10 and a half, and I'm going to go and get her a little treat, a little gift. And that's on the agenda. So I'll take you along with me, and we'll do a library haul, and I'll let you know what the, hopefully last book will be. I don't know. Once I lose confidence when I just get one book after the other that just aren't doing it for me. But I'm sure eventually I'll find a winner. I'm not going to read the next Dungeon Crawl Car one in this vlog. I did promise you that, because that would be a book I would not DNF, but we are going to save that for the next vlog. So I do need something else for this one. I do want to prioritize the remaining books on my TBR. So if any of those have come into the library, that's what we'll do next. And yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, my darlings, I am back. I had an interesting time. Things didn't go to plan, but that's okay. I have picked a bunch of books up at the library, so I will go through them now. And my next read is going to be Overgrowth by Maria Grant, which is a pseudonym for Seanan McGuire. I don't know why they wrote under two different names. I know there's two different genres, and I think most people would write under a pseudonym if they're writing things maybe they don't want their name attributed to, but I'm surprised that they're still doing the pen name rather than just their real name. But anyway, yeah, this is the alien invasion book where she's trying to warn all of humanity that her family's coming back because she's an alien, a plant-like alien, and they don't believe her. They call her cray-cray. And then guess what? Turns out crazy alien lady was right. So we'll see what it's like. I have not heard good things about it. A lot of the reviews that are coming in are not great. So it might be another DNF, we'll see. I've got this book here called Claimed by Gertrude Barrows Bennett. So this is for my short books reading blog. So this is a Penguin weird fiction book, which I think is cute that they're doing that. We have House of Blight by Maxim M. Martineau. And this is like a Fey Gothic book, I believe. We've got Suppose You Met a Witch by Ian Cerillier and illustrated by Ed Emberley. So this is also for the short books reading blog. This is a picture book. And the last book I picked up was for V because she lost her copy that I bought her for school. They're currently studying The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I have never read this. Maybe I'll read it after her. I'll ask her if it's good or not. Oh, no. It doesn't sound good. Just the blurb doesn't interest me, but that's what she's learning at school. Now, it's Indy's half birthday today, so I got some cakes and I got her to pop what do you call them, blind box things. So I got her another Chukka candle whisper because she was going nuts over that, and I got her an Azura one as well. I also got myself two. So I opened one on my Pretty Covers vlog, and I'm going to open the other one here. If there's one I really want, it's the one with the cat. I think that is called The Encounter. So pray for me. So so far we've got a lily here with the umbrella, the chirping lady, I called her Clementine, with the birds. I love her with the birds. Oh my God, she's adorable. And let's see what I get. Going to V. Oh, we've got a bench. Who's on the bench? Oh no, it's not. It's not a surprise one. It's Taste from the Memory. Oh, we've got little snacks. All right, let me just get the snacks going. All right, so someone's sitting on a bench. Okay, so this is her with her snacks on her little bench. I don't know what I want to call her. The name Peach just came to mind. Maybe this is Peach. Okay, yeah, she's got a lot of peach on her. So this is Peach. So I've gotten 3 different ones. I think I'll probably keep going until I get the cat. I'm like, oh, I don't feel addicted to collecting these things. I kind of want the cat. So yeah, I might go keep going until I get that one. What's the cat one called? The cat one called The Encounter. Yeah, that's the one I want the most. Oh, Mind with the Wind, I think is fantastic. Wandering with a Shiba Inu, Recalling the Part, like they're all great, like I said, except for Loosening. That's the only one I don't like. So every now and again, but another little treat for me today. But that is everything. So I will go on to Overgrowth. If I don't like it, House of Blight. If I don't like this, who knows?
Have a very, very happy birthday to you. Yes, you. A very, very happy birthday to you.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
Is it shush?
No, but it's way cuter than shush. I like this. What is this one? Oh, it's Aura.
Oh.
You know why I got Aura?
Why?
Because I have Aura.
I knew you were going to say that is not. You've got Riz.
Oh, yeah, I know what I got.
What did you get?
Because I love this one. I didn't get my favorite though. I didn't get my favorite. I really like this one. I got this one.
Oh.
It's the one you hated, but I like this one.
Hey, Sylvie.
Good morning, my lovelies. Let me tell you how my reading went. So I did start reading Overgrowth by Mira Grant. Man, the author really fumbled this one with her character's traits. So I'll tell you how the first chapter starts. So we've got a little 3-year-old girl who decides she wants to go to the woods one day. And so she goes into the woods and she sees a pretty flower and she touches it and it sucks her dry. It literally turns her into dust. And 3 days later, out pops a pod person that looks identical to the dead 3-year-old. And she waddles back to her mum. Her mum's like, my daughter lives. And the daughter's like, yeah, about that. I'm not your daughter's dead. An alien plant killed her and popped me out. So there's that. The mum is just like, kids say the darndest things and everyone sort of just brushes it off as trauma. Now, this ends up being a defining trait of this character. This character, the first thing she does when she introduces herself to anybody is tell them that she's a plant alien and her family are going to one day come back to Earth to get her and kill everyone. And this does not let up. I read 150 pages and she's just continuing to remind everybody, I'm an alien, y'all, and you better watch out. My family is not nice. And people like, people would think you were less weird if you stopped saying that all the time. Like, we get it. You're quirky, you're eccentric. Could you cease and desist? But she doesn't. She doesn't. And it was just so irritating. Her in general, I just found her super cringe. and unlikable. And that is a cat using the litter tray quite ferociously. Yeah, I couldn't stand it. She was just too annoying. And I DNF'd. So that sucked. I thought that would be great, but yeah, just what a choice to have a character be so repetitive and draining. Hey Bluebell. Hey Bluebell. Then I decided to pick up First Time Caller by B.K. Morrison because that came in and that was on my TBR for this month. So in this one, you have a dude and he is a radio host of a radio show that's all about love, but spaghetti-o, he doesn't believe in love anymore.
One thing's for sure. Love stinks. Love stinks.
And he's losing listeners, and what's he going to do? It's his job, you know? And one day, a precocious tween calls up because she's worried about her mum's love life because her mum has taken her snatch out of commission. She's closed up shop. None shall enter here. And one night, her mum catches her daughter talking on the phone to a dude and he's like, "Who are you, you pedo?" And he's like, whoa, lady, back up. I'm a radio host. This is a love show. Your daughter is concerned about your lack of a love life. Why don't we talk about it? And I guess she thinks this guy's got a sexy voice and maybe she's ready to open up again.
Is open for business.
And look, rom-coms and contemporary romance in general have to do a lot to impress me. You know, they have to break their back to get me on board. And this did not do that. I didn't do it. I just didn't care about any of the characters. It's supposed to be a retake of Sleepless in Seattle, so maybe if you love that movie, you'll love this. But like I said, with romances, I'm just a bit of a Grinch, and I don't like many. I don't know, this is going to be really annoying in editing that I keep going forward and back. What else? So those two, yeah, bombed, and I feel like I have been cursed, that I have been hexted, because I can't find a book that I like enough to finish this vlog. I've got one more to go. Just one. But like I said, if it's not feeling above a 3.5, I don't want it. Too many books, not enough time, folks. You know how the saying goes. So I'm really lucky. Another book on my TBR has come in. Normally, there's always a few stragglers left over because the library just didn't get them in on time. But one did come in, and that is Endling by Maria, I want to say Rivka. I do not have the words in front of me, and it's an ebook, not a physical, so I'm going to start that one. I don't even remember what this one's about at all. I don't know if I should go in blind. I probably should read the synopsis first. So I'm going to read that one next. If that fails, I'll go on to House of Blight. I didn't start House of Blight yesterday because it's a physical book and I can't read physical books in bed. So I went on to ones that were ebooks. So yes, if Endling doesn't work out, onto House of Blight. I'm hoping Endling works out, guys. I want to be done. I really want to finish this vlog today, as in finish the book today and update you tomorrow. So that is pretty much all I'm going to be doing today, is just trying to find the fourth and final book for this vlog, because I really want to start the next Matt Dinniman book. Fun fact about the Dinnermeister, he also makes art for IKEA. So, and also, like, good news for pussy lovers, there is a cat one. So I thought that was funny. I found that out by reading the author's note at the other book, which is something I do now. I never used to read author's notes before, and then the book that changed it all for me was American Rapture? Fuck, I hope that's the title, by CJ Leeds. So after reading that author's note, I now read all of them, and some of them are a bit boring. It's just, I just want to thank my family and my friends for their support, and then some are funny and or touching, and I like those ones, so now I always give them a little looky-loo. But yeah, that's what's happening today. That's Sylvie. She's so loud. That one. She's very vocal. Yeah. Fingers crossed for me that, yeah, we're able to do it. We're able to do it so I can be done. I'll update you once I have DNF'd or hopefully read something. So hopefully you don't see me until tomorrow, because I decided just to read Endling all the way through today and will give my review tomorrow because I'm a bit cooked today. I have a bit of the brain frog. Brain frog? Oh, Chanel. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave you here. See you soon, guys. Nova's a poor out lady. Aren't you, Nova? You love to just stretch your little hand out.
We should.
No. Water's fine, isn't it? Hello, Desi. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, he's so adorable.
Where was he dirty in the end? His paws?
And everywhere.
Can you wash his paws for me?
Hello, my darlings. Let me tell you about the last book I read, and yes, I did end it with Endling by Maria Reva. So this is about a rogue snail scientist, 2 sister grifters, and a truckload of dupe bachelors hitting the road across UK on a mission to find a missing mum, save the last horny snail alive, and dismantle the mail order bride industry. Just in time for a war to break out and on everything. So I found out that the word endling is a term used for the last of a species. This book, okay, this was quite an interesting reading experience. I thought the book was just okay overall, and that's because unfortunately it just wasn't for me. This is definitely what I would probably call metafiction. So in this book, you've got this story of these 3 Ukrainian women and this van full of American, Canadian horny guys who want Slavic brides, and also a side quest of finding a mum, finding a snail, and avoiding getting killed by Russian soldiers. All of a sudden the book stops abruptly, and then we're given this interview with the author, who also was commissioned to write a piece, and the clients thought that her use of her jokes in there were just too soon and not appropriate for the current climate and the current situation. And she's like, this is what Ukrainians do. When faced with dark times, we make jokes about it. So I didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden, then it got back into the story, but then there were also times when we were pulled out again to see snippets of Maria Reva doing interviews, talking about things. I don't know if it worked for me. So there was talk about how the story could have ended without any talk of the Russian war, and then how can you ignore the war that is going on? It does need to be included. And yes, then it sort of does end up making the story more about that than anything else. There is a lot of blurring of fact and fiction with this one, with the author and the characters sort of becoming enmeshed. The main themes, I would say, originally in the beginning, it's feminism and exploitation. So it tackles the commodification of Eastern European women through mail order bride culture, with sharp critiques of gender roles, patriarchy, and Western romantic fantasies. And then we've got war and displacement. So it explores how ordinary life is disrupted and distorted by military invasion, occupation, and geopolitical violence. Unfortunately, like I said, it just didn't work for me. I still thought it was okay, but I don't know. I was expecting something different, and it went in this other direction, and I just was a bit confused, and I couldn't really connect to the characters because of it. It just kept getting taken in and out of the story. But I did finish, so I can finish this vlog, and I will tell you now about all the books that I read in this reading vlog, and I'm going to sum them up in a sentence. Okay, so we have Endling by Maria Reva, A Road Trip with Mollusks, Massacres, and Mail Order Mayhem. Cure by Katherine Brabon, Mother-Daughter Bonding Over Shared Illness. Hell of a Witch by Rachel Aaron, Unlikely Heroes Storm Heaven's Gates. And my favourite read of this reading vlog was The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinniman, which was a 5-star read for me. Nice tits. I'm just joking, but that was a line in the book. Dinosaur drama meets wanker hunters. So those were all the books I read for this reading vlog. Do let me know down below what your latest read was. And until next time, stay wild, star child.